Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. As I mentioned, we were waiting on that news conference to get underway in that beach shooting. Let me go over the basics of what we know so far here. This is out of South Carolina. 6 people wounded on the beach during a senior skip day event. The gunfire reported around 5:20 Friday afternoon on Isle of Palms, which is about 100 miles south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We know that hundreds of people, including high schoolers, were taking an unofficial day off and were at the beach at the time. This right here is some viewer video where you can see people running for safety after those gunshots were fired. We also know from the police chief that several altercations took place on the beach, and then there were gunshots. Again, 6 people shot, and the chief believed they would all recover from their injuries. He also said that 5 of the victims were teenagers. We know that several people were detained on weapons charges, but police have not said if the shooter or shooters were in custody. That news conference now officially getting underway with the latest information, so let's pop up the audio and listen in live, raw, and unfiltered.
You ready? All right. Good morning. Thank you for joining us again under unfortunate circumstances. And just a couple of comments, and I'll turn it over to Chief Cornett to give an update on where we are with the investigation and the patients. You know, too many times this is happening in our country, and you have very unprepared elected officials, you know, to prep for this and see for this and stand in front of cameras and microphones. And, you know, after watching our public safety folks last night, chief just unbelievably impressed with the protocol, the procedure, the training, and the execution. I mean, it was just unbelievable to watch it with your own eyes last night, and the support of county sheriffs and too many to name today. I don't know how many cars were here, how many personnel were here, over 100 easily. Just the Tri-County area response was just unbelievable. You know, and just to our residents of IOP, we need to be really proud and really appreciative of our public safety folks. I really just cannot tell you how impressed I was with their actions last night and preventing it from something worse than what happened. Is bad enough as it is, but for them to be in action on the beach in anticipation of what was going on, it's just Chief, thank you guys so much and your teams for making that happen. So Chief Cornett, I'll let you give an update.
Good morning. Chief Kevin Cornett, that's C-O-R-N-E-T-T. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Isle of Palms. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update and give you some additional information that we may not have had available last night. I want to say that this event was broadcast. We were called about it yesterday morning. We did prepare for it using our partnership with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Graziano and her team sent several deputies out here to assist us. And I can tell you, when I was looking at videos last night, they were on the beach with our team within moments. We already had personnel on the beach when the fights were breaking out. We had several officers out there. They were taking people into custody, trying to defuse those situations, and that's when the shooting started. And I have to say that once the shooting started, what I saw last night when I was looking at the videos were officers putting people on the ground and getting on top of them so that they weren't, so that they were keeping them safe. And those officers, others, immediately sprinted towards the fire, the gunfire, to try to stop it. And when they realized that those individuals were getting off the beach, they turned and started rendering aid. They were on top of people, helping to put pressure on wounds and things like that. They were able to get 3 into the back of one of our Polaris vehicles and off the beach. They were collected and off the beach and in the hands of our firefighters, who immediately came to meet our team and started working on them. Within 3 minutes, these 3 individuals were out there getting the care they needed and being sought after by our staff at the fire department. So I can't stress enough how impressed I was with our team and their immediate actions to move in, stop the threat, and to render aid to those that were injured, and even other people that were out there with us that were not law enforcement officers. They stopped and started helping, taking shirts off to help people who were injured as well. I know yesterday I reported that we had individuals that were detained. We have arrested a 16-year-old juvenile for possession of a stolen firearm and unlawful carry of a firearm. We cannot say that he is one of the individuals involved in the shooting. We're still investigating that part, but we do know that he was in possession of a firearm that was stolen. He was arrested and taken to corrections last night. An 18-year-old individual was also arrested for possession of a firearm in the municipal parking lot. He was taken to jail. Also, the mayor was talking about the great response we had from our partners, and I can't thank them enough, but I just kind of want to go through who came. Charleston County Sheriff's Office was already here with us on site and then sent more resources. Charleston City Police Department, Mount Pleasant Police Department, Sullivan's Island Police Department, North Charleston Police Department, Berkeley County Sheriff's Office, Somerville Police Department, South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, FBI, ATF, Isle of Palms Fire Department, Mount Pleasant Fire Department, Charleston County EMS, Port City EMS, Charleston County Emergency Management Division, and Charleston County Dispatch. Without that response from all those individuals, this could have been totally different. But because of those relationships that we have, everybody was able to get here and defuse this as quickly as possible and make it safe. We are still investigating the actual shooting itself, and we're asking anybody that has any information to call our tip line. It's 843-529-3750. I say again, 843-529-3750, and that is staffed. We have individuals sitting there now. Anybody that has any information, call that phone number. If you have videos, we're asking anybody that has videos in the area, maybe they collected on their phone, maybe they collected on some Ring doorbell or Ring camera systems on their doorbell or anything. If you've got Nest, any of it. If you have a video, reach out to us and let us know so that we can get that information. You may not realize there's something on there. If you have anything, reach out to us and share that video so that we can go through it. Our partners are helping us to go through each of those videos that come in. At this point, I want to turn it over to Sheriff Graziano.
Good morning, everybody. Here we are, once again, talking to the public about a mass shooting in Charleston, in the Charleston area. This is simply unacceptable. You know, Chief's right, we do coordinate these things, we try to mitigate them, and we do the best we can, but and the response is always the same. We do our job, we get people in custody, we save lives. Because we've had a lot of practice doing it, and this is unacceptable. So what I want to say is, yes, we had great coordination, we have great teams of law enforcement and first responders in this area. But we are moving to the investigative phase of this now, and we have been at that point for several hours. There are people that were on that beach yesterday that know what happened. There are parents that know these kids were on the beach and know what happened. These parents need to have a serious conversation with these kids. And if they have information that will help us get more guns off the street, they need to call that tip line and let us know. This is simply unacceptable. You have the actions of a few that are going to impact this entire community now in a negative way, and it's unacceptable. So with that, I just want to say our support is still there for Isle of Palms, our partners at Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, the greater Charleston area. But we do know that this was an event that that many schools participated in throughout the Tri-County area. The school districts knew that this was happening. If you know people are going to gather, young people are going to gather in celebration of something, please let us know in advance. We found out that morning, early the morning, yesterday morning, that this was possibility going to happen down here, and we rallied our resources in advance of that. But if you know this is going to happen, there's absolutely no reason anybody should be carrying a gun to the beach. Absolutely no reason. And you have innocent bystanders that were victims of that. So please, families, parents, school officials, if you know who was on the beach and who participated on the beach, I guarantee they know something, and they're just not telling us. We couldn't get cooperation from most of the folks that we spoke to yesterday. We got some. But we need them to come forward, and this needs to stop. That's all I have.
I did want to, I know there were questions yesterday about the age of the victims and their status. All of the victims are, we had most of them were 16 and 15, and then one that was in her mid-30s, and all of them have non-life-threatening injuries. Most of them have already been released from the hospital. So wanted to make sure I gave that information. I think that was a question from yesterday. With that, are there any questions?
Was the person, the 30-something-year-old person, was that just a bystander, and were all the students, or I mean, all the teens who were hit, were they all students who were part of the gathering, or were there any people who were outside of it who were hit?
We know at least one, the 30-year-old individual, was just in the area, taking advantage of the beach. She's just an innocent victim in a bad spot. And then we can't confirm whether the others right now were involved in anything. We know they were part of the group, but I can't say that they were doing anything wrong or if they were just innocent victims that just happened to be in the wrong place when something bad happened.
Were they statewide? Because some kids said they were from Manning. So is this something that was maybe, well, we don't go to Somerville as well?
We're still looking into what schools exactly. We do know that schools from Berkeley County, Dorchester County, and Charleston County were involved with the incident. We're still trying to confirm exactly which ones and how big the net was cast for people to come to this, but I don't have all that information for you right now.
I just have one more question before anybody else jumps in. You already said, I just want to know, but you guys, did I hear correctly, you guys were responding to an incident anyway before the shots were fired?
We already had people on the beach. The moment we saw a crowd gather, we deployed resources to the beach just to make sure that things didn't get out of hand. 2 fights took place. They started to address those 2 fights, and that's when the shooting took place.
Possible, obviously, the officers being there could have, at least I don't want to use the word scare, but could have lessened the impact.
That was the intent, was to have several officers there, and hopefully we could keep anything from happening.
We're hearing from beachgoers that there were at least 2 shooters. What does your investigation in that regard look like right now, and how many guns have been confiscated?
Right now, we only have the 2 guns from the 2 individuals that we arrested yesterday. And as far as the number of shooters, we're still looking at that. That's why that video and those phone calls to the tip line are so important for us. Again, 843-529-3750. If you have any information, any video, call that tip line and give us what you got.
And another question. We know gun violence is obviously a problem all across the Low Country, but speaking to this community specifically, what's your message to the people that have reached out to us and say that maybe this is a preview of what's to come in IOP, which might be an exaggeration, but of course, what's your message to those people?
I can tell you that we will work with our partners like we've been doing, and we will do our best to keep this as safe as possible. We'll look at what took place, see what we can do in the future to prevent it from happening that we didn't do this time, but we could do in the future.
Everything.
What can you tell me about the injuries?
Most of them were to limbs, hands, shoulders. I think we have one that might have been in the thigh area, and then one that was to the abdomen.
Okay, and then also, like, with the different user-generated videos, were there any police surveillance that you were able to pull from?
We're still going through all the cameras in the area and anything that law enforcement might have had on their vehicles or on their persons.
And will you be releasing, I'm sorry, will you be releasing any body cam video?
But not right now. We're still conducting an investigation.
The 2 individuals arrested, do you believe they were involved in the actual fighting that took place on the beach?
We can't confirm right now. Don't know.
What types of guns were recovered?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. They were pistols. I know that. As far as what caliber is, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Every year I hear just kind of from some of the actually one person who was here earlier was a little bit frustrated. You know, every time we do a story about some sort of violent incident, I always hear it seems like it's getting worse. Is that even remotely true, or is it just, you know, we get kind of emotional when something bad happens?
That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, the reality is that there's violence all across our nation, and it's something that every community has to deal with. We're just doing our part to make sure that we can prevent it in the future, and when it does happen, that we can respond appropriately and do a thorough investigation and put anybody who committed a crime in jail.
This is the first I'm hearing that you said there were 2 fights on the beach that police were responding to. Can you tell us how police responded? And I understand then shots were fired.
They were already there, and so they started grabbing individuals and putting them in handcuffs that were involved in the fight. At that time, a second fight broke out, and they were detaining one individual from that, and that's when the shooting started. And I'll take one more question.
So as a lot of people were parents, what do you think of like the 15 and 16-year-olds being involved in something like this?
I have children, and it would be devastating for me to have children out here involved in that. And I am, call me a helicopter dad if you want to, but I am all over my children. I know what they're doing. I know where they're going. Maybe everybody doesn't have that ability. I don't know. But it is devastating to me that we have a community anywhere where children are injured, where children are involved in violence, where children think it is okay to commit any violent act. It is not okay. It's not okay whether you're a juvenile, it's not okay whether you're an adult, but it's concerning, and it breaks my heart to see that we have juveniles involved in this type of activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, that was the news conference there underway. A live, raw, and unfiltered news conference from Isle of Palms, South Carolina. That is where we know that 6 people were injured in that shooting that happened on the beach during a senior skip day event. We do know from the police chief there that it does appear that most of those victims are 15 and 16 years old, as well as one woman who appears to be in her 30s. All of their injuries believed to be non-life threatening. They are expected to recover there. As we get more details on this ongoing investigation, we'll bring it to you live, raw, and unfiltered. That is what we do here on Live Now from Fox.